most enjoyable opportunities I've had while filming these shows is to experience the accommodations of some of the best shooting preserves. As Jim Martin, owner and operator of the 1,200-acre Martin's Fish and Game Preserve in Portage, Wisconsin, arrives to pick us up at one of the few elegant but rustic lodges on the preserve, guest Gene Kroupa and myself are all set for another great day of hunting. Gene is the editor of the Wisconsin Fin and Feathers magazine, and on today's show, Jim Martin will be taking us out for some exciting duck hunting. It's a beautiful winter day, and for Gene and myself, it's a day we have been planning for weeks. By the time we return to the cabin, the table will be set and the fire will be burning, and it will be up to Gene and myself to supply the meat for the table in the form of some nice big mallards.
You guys are ready to go. We'll get our gear together and...
Well, we're all set. We've been waiting
Sounds
for
good.
it, so...
Okay,
we'll see you, Jim.
All right.
Gene, why don't you explain a little bit about the labs that we're going to be using today?
Okay, well, we have a 10-year-old lab that has a lot of experience. We have a 13-month-old lab here that he's a good retriever, but he doesn't know much about hunting. And I think what you've got here really is the old crow and the young pup. And surprisingly, the young pup is a rambunctious dog, and he likes to chase around a lot.
You enter your dogs in any field trial?
No, I don't enter, Randy, in any specific competitions. Although this dog here, the pup, is out of the Itchin' to Go kennel in Louisiana and the Sunnybrook kennel in Sun Prairie. And so he's out of national field trial champion stock, but he's got a lot to learn. Stay.
Jim, what about the preserve itself and the type of hunting we're going to do? This is a very big preserve. The lodge that we were at is one of 3 on the premises, and this is about, what, 1,200 acres there?
There's 1,400 acres here comprised in this total preserve, and we do a lot of duck flighting from various towers over back to their feeding areas. We have 44 blinds in this 1,400 acres, positioned in all extremes of the farms, in some areas near the marsh, some areas near some of the ponds that we have fish in, and some just in the agricultural areas, like we're standing in here right now. We're standing in an alfalfa field. We have sorghum growing, a lot of different duck habitat here. We also do a lot of upland game hunting. Duck hunting is the mainstay.
Now, I know from experience that although these ducks are released and they have a flight pattern, which we don't know what it's going to be yet, as much as it seems like it's simple, they fly typically high, they fly fast, and it's not as easy as you might think it's going to be.
I think you will find that out. They fly every bit as good as a wild duck. Even though they're fed daily, they have the ability to fly very well. You'll have to be right on your shooting toes to have a consistent duck that's down.
Well, why don't we get into position and we'll wait for some ducks to come and see how good of a shot Gene really is.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, Gene, how do you feel? You feel lucky enough to hit a few of these birds when they come?
Well, according to Jim, they come pretty quickly out of those trees, and it's a very realistic situation.
Well, let's wait here, and I'll tell you what, being that you're the one of the guests here, I'll let you take the first shot, and that way I won't feel bad in the event that you miss. I'll know what
I've had guys say that before. Let's just trying to check out how good you are. Well, we'll see. I'm a little rusty.
All right. Well, let's just wait. Here you go, boys.
Take him. Stop. Fetch him up. Come on, Bear. Come on. Ah, good boy. Good boy.
All right.
Hey. Good boy. You want to do it again?
Well, there's our first one.
Look at that. Hey, we can do that again,
All right.
huh?
Jim,
Looking
nice
good.
looking duck.
Yes, he is.
Nice
Great.
Yeah, those are beauties.
Gene,
They fly the same way, don't they?
Yes, they do.
nothing slow about them at all.
A lot of sorghum down in these fields now that they are lighting into. I see on that sorghum that went down last fall.
I see. Good here, boy. Good boy. Well, good one.
Yeah, good.
Gene, what do you think about preserve shooting in the future of hunting, basically?
Well, I think as we get more and more people who are looking for an opportunity to get out, they're almost going to have to go to a preserve for a consistent hunting opportunity.
Uh-huh.
You know, a few years ago, I couldn't have considered myself joining a preserve, but I now belong to one for pheasants, and realistically, except for a couple of trips out to Nebraska or South Dakota each year, the only way I can work the young dog that you saw earlier that we put in the kennel, he just couldn't get enough work if I didn't have a membership in a preserve. So I think it's a reasonable way to go in the future.
Jim, how do you feel from the membership, from the members themselves? Do you feel that they're getting frustrated with hunting as it exists and really enjoy this a lot more and look forward to this?
I have a substantial amount of members who like to come 1 or 2 days a week. They're busy executives in business, and when they come, they want some action. They are a little tired of going to some of the public hunting grounds, hunting all day, and sometimes not getting one duck or one pheasant. They like a little activities, and it's quite evident. We ran 208 groups through here from the 15th of August through the 15th of December, and I think that kind of indicates that this preserve hunting is getting more popular all the time.
Well, you know, I've done a lot of hunting, and we've done a lot of shows on various preserves, and boy, you know, a lot of it, or all of the hunting, you worked hard for it. You know, when we went out pheasant hunting, for instance, you worked hard for the birds, and they're big birds, they're fast flyers. You know, even when they were winged, it took a real good dog to even try to find them in the brush. So it was very challenging. You knew that you were going to get birds, yet you worked hard all day to get the birds, and it wasn't anything easy, I think.
Well, that's part of it. If it was duck soup, then it wouldn't be very fun either.
Well, Gene, we still got to see your shooting expertise here, so we're going to let you see how it all works out. We'll wait for a few more ducks to come on over. Why didn't you see that one coming, Gene?
Touch him up. Watch out. Watch out for the
Well, let's...
Good boy.
That was a good one.
Good boy.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Good boy.
Go ahead and we'll put this back here and
Money. Yeah.
wait for some more.
Good boy.
Oh, you really want that, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's all about, isn't it, dog?
That's good stuff. He's flying from all directions here today.
You know, Jim, it's pretty unpredictable as to which direction they're even going to be coming from. Like a little more
Well, here
forward.
comes one. Looks like, well, he may be heading back. No, here.
Right, here we go.
There we go.
Well, I don't want to say I can hit it. That's a wounded.
Fetch him up. Fetch him up.
That's a cripple.
Fetch him up.
Good shot.
Fetch him up. Fetch him up. Fetch him up. Come on, fetch. Come on, Briar. Briar. Come on.
You know, Jim, I don't know,
Hey, that's all right.
there's one of the advantages of using a dog now. If you were out, you know, in the wild, if you were out in the wild with this, we never would have gotten this, no?
You'd been gone.
You would have been gone, and chances are would have fallen in some marsh grass or some water someplace.
Boy. Yeah. That's a good fella. All right.
Looked to me like that duck was hit all 3 shots there, Randy.
Pick up 2, Randy.
You just hold.
Jim, you know, I don't want to make excuses, but I'm not doing too good today.
There's 2 more coming in from the west. Oh, boy.
Piggy.
All right. Good. All right.
Pick him up.
Boy, those are a couple. There's a double.
Fetch him up, dog. Good boy.
I just want you guys to know that I think it is possible for me to hit a bird.
Fetch him up. Fetch him up. Come on, fetch him up, fetch him up. Fetch him up. Fetch him up. Here. Oh, good boy. Yeah. Good boy.
Let's bring that on in here. Well, I'll tell you, Gene, that's,
Here comes another one.
I didn't, that's already let this one go.
Okay.
These came right in on us here, and I didn't even see them, I didn't even see that one is coming right at me. And then when you shot, I didn't even see yours. Well, I'll tell you, they blend in with the ground cover so much, Jim. This brown one going across the brown field, blended in so much that I couldn't even see it.
You didn't see that one behind it there?
No, I didn't see that one that you were shooting at all. And I'll tell you, you really rolled them over on the ground there. This is, once again, they're super looking birds, Jim.
Yeah, they really are.
It's great for any hunter to be able to bring birds like this back with them.
Well, the action is just, super. You just can't match it. And with the new bag limits the way they are on ducks, it's hard, the point total. You get up to 100, that one hen would have been 100 right there.
That's right, yeah.
You're all done hunting, huh?
That's
One
true.
shot, you're all done.
Jim, one of the things that I think that I really enjoy more about preserve hunting is I don't have to put up with all of the elements of, the weather and that to do it, and even the conditions of the fields. I can remember times when I had been out duck hunting and I would go out in a blind area of marsh grass only to find out that it's floating on a bog and plunge right through it, and actually being probably 20 feet of water and not even knowing, be hanging on for my life. Had a few situations where it's been really close, and then naturally, I think even Gene might even experience that. So many times you go out and you'll spend the whole day out hunting, and when you come home, later on in the afternoon or whatever, and your wife is interested in seeing what you brought back, and you don't have anything to show for the whole day out. So.
Well, we have a little of that bog hunting on the south end of this farm, but by far the majority of the blinds are next to ditches and open fields and ponds.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things, as I mentioned before, I've got a 10-year-old dog here, and this field hunting is really super simply because the old dog doesn't have to jump in the icy water. And I guess I've always made a practice, so I like to see my dog retrieve. But when they start getting up in the years, you start worrying about them getting pneumonia or something like that. And he still likes to get those ducks, but I think he likes to stay out of the water, too.
The ice water is tough on a duck. Tough on a dog.
It's tough on all of us, I'll say that. I've been in the water enough.
It's tough on humans more than anything, I think.
I think he likes sitting around this warm blind, too, instead of sitting out on a floating hunk of cattail or a muskrat house. He seems to like it. He
Brings that duck out of that ice-cold water and comes over and shakes on you, and
That's right.
I can do without that.
Well, we've gotten a few already. Let's see what else flies. I think we're learning to hit a little better now. We weren't doing too good in the beginning, but I tell you, from my viewpoint, that was intentional. I didn't want to start shooting everything down right away because I knew that then you guys would get scared off.
Well, we know one thing, the hunting's always good, the shooting isn't always that great.
Now let's see how good we can do here. We'll wait for some more to fly in. Wow, I'm out.
Good shot.
Fetch him up. Fetch him up. Fetch him up. Fetch him up. He's out there. Fetch him up. Come on, there, boy. Big green head. Yeah. Look at that. Oh, sit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure.
Good shot for you. One thing a hunter's got to remember to do is keep shells in his gun.
Oh, really?
I had one shell. I shot it, and that was it. Pull the trigger, and there's nothing there.
I thought you were just giving me another break, Randy.
Well, I can't do that too. Jim, when the hunters shoot shoot birds here on a preserve, then your birds are specially identified, and do you have to tag them or anything special when they take them out of here?
All of these pen-reared mallards have their toes clipped, and I can demonstrate that here. Showing you on this duck here. You see this toe right here? On the right foot, that toe is clipped off. And they have a band that identifies this as Martin Farms Shooting Preserve. Then prior to this bird leaving the premises, we also tag it with a DNR yellow tag that is also attached to the foot, which identifies that as a game preserve bird, so it's not confused with a wild duck.
All righty.
There we got a bird coming over from the north. There, Blair.
Yeah, sure knows how to make me look good.
Same it, dog.
You know, it's not nice to fool a Labrador.
I tell you.
Come here, Blair. Blair! Oh, boy, come on. Those were just feathers. Come on.
Fine.
You might have a little
Come on.
doobies in him.
All right.
I like getting over there. They got him good.
I don't know.
Well, again, that's what makes it fun, Randy. You don't get them all.
You don't get them all, that's right.
You know what, Jim? It ain't funny.
Jim and I think it's funny, you know.
See, that's the difference between us television people and you writers. You writers can go out and you can write about how good you were and how everything came down and it was just beautiful. And I can't say that because you're going to see what we do.
I'll be a nice guy in this one. Let's see the next one. I'll probably miss him. Well, there's two. Looks like they're heading to the other pond.
Believe me, dog, there are times when I hit the birds. I don't want you to fall asleep here waiting.
Well, there comes one right at you, Randy. See him coming?
Yeah, sure. You got a lot of confidence.
Fetch him up, fetch him up.
Hey, shot.
Fetch him up.
Boy, I tell you, you hit that ground at about 90 miles an hour. Jim, I think I did hit that one the first time, but I'll tell you, I didn't know if he was going to come down for sure or not. Nice bird.
Yeah.
Nice hand rally.
Yeah.
Well, chances there of getting a double there. Where'd the other one go? Did you have any shot at it, old Jim?
Well, I just wanted to be sure you got at least one, Randy, so I didn't shoot. That looked like the easiest one, so I let him go.
That's the easiest one for you, that's for sure.
You notice these bands on the legs here, there are different colors. I have green ones, blue ones, red ones, and silver ones. The silver one represents the first 3,000 ducks that we raised here early this spring. You hear things,
Wow, look at that flock of geese that we got in here. Well, they're coming back.
Jim, can we bring down a few of those too? Is that?
no, I'm afraid we can't shoot the wild geese.
Well, I don't think that'd be any tougher for me to hit one of those right now than it's been for me to hit some of the ducks.
Oh, you got that one
Some
that's
ducks
there.
down. Well, I'll tell you what. I think that we got ourselves a pretty good catch here. Maybe we want to head back to that cabin. It's a little nippy out here and
It's a little raw.
get some of this coffee Jim was talking about before. What do you think?
Well, that sounds like a winner to me.
Look at here, we got ducks coming right at us.
Right.
Coming right from the north.
You gonna take that?
Nope.
No? Okay.
They're beauties.
Well, let's go
Nice
ahead.
one,
We don't
Grant.
want to make a pig out of ourselves here. We'll take our ducks and we'll head on back in there. You want to do that?
Sure.
Right. I think you have to grab a few of them yourself.
Oh, it's just over here.
We'll head on back to that cabin.
Okay, I'll be right with you here. I got a couple things to pick up.
All right, Jim. You're all set here, huh? Guy?
Come on, Briar.
You know, Gene, I think when you look at all of these ducks, this is reminiscent of pictures 50 years ago.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, Randy.
Can't complain about hunting like this, huh?
Well, if you came out for an hour, you got 6 ducks, how would you do that?
Well, pretty good hunt. Gene, I don't know how you feel about it, but boy, I'll tell you, these are some nice birds that we have here. Why don't we lay them out here and we'll take a good look at them.
Well, look at the size of this big greenhead here. These are really nice birds. What do you think they weigh, Jim?
Oh, they're usually 2 3/4 to 3 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Dandy birds.
They've had grain all the way along in their lifetime. They're grain-fed ducks, that and wild rice.
Well, Jim, they're nice birds. I want to thank you for taking us out today.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thanks a lot, Jim.
We appreciate
Gene, I
it.
want to thank you for joining me on today's
Well, it's a pleasure, Randy.
For doing most
really
of the shooting.
Well, I do a lot of shooting, but not much hitting.
I have to say that more so than you are. Well, you want to go have that coffee you're talking about?
Well, that sounds good.